Tuhaburwa Museveni to Tuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni, the duly elected president of the Republic of Uganda at the presidential elections held on the 15th day of January 2026 for the next 5 years.
Also tonight, elections were largely transparent despite a few isolated incidents in some areas. African Union COMESA IGAD observers commend Uganda for peaceful January 15th elections.
The calmness by the Ugandan citizens towards the polling staff despite the delay in the opening. 2. The provision for political parties and candidates with voters registered increase their monitoring of the vote, thereby strengthening their trust in the process.
And from overseas, Trump thanks Iran for holding 800 hangings.
Brought to you by
Centenary Publishing House, the leading publishers of prayer and hymn books since 1977.
Once again, welcome to News at 8. And now, starting us off today, the Electoral Commission has officially declared President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as the winner for the Uganda's presidential election following the release of the final results. Museveni generated 7,946,772 votes, representing 71.65% for the total votes cast, followed by Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu with 2,741,238 votes, representing 24.72%. Announcing the final tally, Electoral Commission Chairperson Justice Simon Byabakama called on Ugandans to remain calm, maintain peace, and respect the outcome of the election. Our reporter now brings us the details of what transpired during the announcement.
The Electoral Commission has concluded the presidential election process with the declaration of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as Uganda's next president. According to the final results announced by the Electoral Commission Chairperson Justice Simon Byabakama, President Museveni secured 7,946,772 votes, translating to 71.65% of the total votes. His closest challenger, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, commonly known as Bobi Wine, received 2,741,238 votes, representing 24.7%.
I repeat, Yoweri Tuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni, 7,946,772 votes. Now, therefore, candidate Yoweri Tuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni, having obtained the highest number of votes in the election, and the votes cast in his favor being more than 50% of the valid votes cast at the election, the Commission hereby declares the elected president declares candidate Yoweri Tuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni.
The Commission also reported 275,353 invalid votes, representing 2.42% of the total votes cast. In total, 11,366,201 votes were cast nationwide, accounting for a 52% voter turnout of the registered voters.
The Commission wishes to congratulate the people of Uganda upon the successful conduct of the presidential and parliamentary elections, which were concluded on the 15th of this month. This election has been held at a time when Uganda is marking 30 years of the 1995 Constitution, which provided for the establishment of a permanent electoral commission with its mandate to organize and conduct regular elections and referenda.
Justice Byabakama further urged the candidates who were unsuccessful to wait for the next opportunity and encourage citizens to focus on the national development beyond the election period.
I wish to appeal to all Ugandans of whatever class or level in society that let us now focus on that which is far greater than election, and that is our country, Uganda. Let us all be united in the quest and desire for a better Uganda that we can all live in unity, in harmony, and in peace.
He also announced that the Commission would now shift focus to the organizing upcoming elections for the workers, members of parliament, councillors, regional youth representatives, and other special interest groups.
The local government elections have not yet been held. They are to take place within these first 30 days. That is between the 15th of January and 6th of February. And most importantly, they are part and parcel of the elections that are stipulated in Article 61, Clause 2.
Certificates were later issued to the presidential candidates, officially marking the conclusion of the general election process. Other presidential candidates tarried with significantly lower margins. Mugisha Muntu obtained 59,276 votes, representing 0.53%. Frank Kabinga received 45,959 votes. Robert Kasibanti 33,440 votes. Surugam Barak secured 31,666 votes. Mabilizo Joseph got 23,458 votes, while Nanda Mafabi received 20,939 votes, accounting for 1.88%.
All right, the National Unity Platform presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu has rejected the outcome of Uganda's 2026 presidential election, describing the results declared by the Electoral Commission as fraudulent and illegitimate. Kyagulanyi has challenged the Commission to restore internet access and publicly release declaration forms from all the 50,739 polling stations, insisting that transparency is only a way to verify the will of the people.
Addressing supporters through recorded video, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, the National Unity Platform presidential candidate, dismissed the declared outcome, maintaining that the electoral process was fundamentally flawed.
First and foremost, we reject whatever is being declared by Mr. Byabakama, because those so-called results that they're declaring are fake, and they don't in any way reflect what happened at the polling stations or what is at the declaration forms. Therefore, those results, the so-called results, are fake.
According to the Electoral Commission's official declaration, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni won the presidential election with 7,946,772 votes, representing 71.66%, while Kyagulanyi obtained 2,741,238 votes, translating into 24.72%. This gives President Museveni a victory margin of 5,205,534 votes.
Now, therefore, candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, having obtained the highest number of votes in the election and the votes cast in his favor being more than 50% of the valid votes cast at the election, the Commission hereby declares the elected president declares candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni the duly elected president of the Republic of Uganda at the presidential elections held on the 15th day of January 2026 for the next 5 years.
Notably, Kyagulanyi's vote tally in the 2026 election is lower than what he received in 2021 presidential election, while he secured 3,475,298 votes, accounting for 34.83% of the total vote. This reflects a numerical decline in votes in this electoral cycle.
Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert, 2,741,238 votes.
In a video shared on his official Twitter account, Kyagulanyi claimed he narrowly escaped from his home in Magere, alleging that police and military personnel had surrounded the premises.
And yesterday, our house was raided by some police officers together with a number of other unknown individuals in plain clothes. They used ladders to climb over our fence. They cut off our electricity. They cut off our cameras. Amidst that raid, I was able to use my skills and escape my house.
Kyagulanyi insisted that the declared results are fraudulent and demanded that the Electoral Commission immediately publish all declaration of the results form online and display them at the tally centers for independent verification by the public and the international community.
And we demand that the internet be restored and the rightful declaration forms and tally sheets from the districts are uploaded on the internet so that the people of Uganda can see the rightful results in transparency. We also demand that they hold whatever declaration is going on until the internet is restored and until the people of Uganda can follow up on the results in transparency.
Responding to the public rumors that Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu had been abducted by the security forces, the spokesperson Kituma Roseke dismissed the claims, stating that Kyagulanyi was neither abducted nor under arrest and that the police had not detained the opposition leader.
Mr. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, as far as I'm informed, he is not under arrest. That is one statement I would like to make categorically clear. The deployment around his place, yes, it is visible, but we have deployed in all areas where our intelligence estimates give us a point to such areas as areas of interest, including places or precincts around Magere.
Rusoke explained the security deployment around Kyagulanyi's residence in Magere, saying it was intended to maintain law and order.
So it should not surprise you when we have a pickup or two near the residence of Honorable Kyagulanyi. And we don't commit any offense when we deploy in Magere.
That's ridiculous. So if police is saying they have deployed heavily military and so on around my leader's home, that it's for his safety, who is threatening to harm him? Except them. They're the ones who have been beating him up and the team has been moving around with during campaigns. So police is saying, no, Kyagulanyi, we are guarding you at your home so that no one comes to harm you. Who has said they are going to harm Kyagulanyi? So that police go and deploy heavily at my leader's home. That's just a ridiculous excuse. Look, what is being done is criminal. Police and the military deploying at his house, they keep trying to force their way into the house.
I thank you for God and my country.
All right, moving on elsewhere, regional and continental election observers have commended Uganda for conducting largely peaceful and transparent general elections on January 15th. The AU COMESA IGAD Joint Election Observation Mission, led by the former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan, praised voters for their patience and calm despite minor technical challenges, while the East African Community Mission described the 2026 electoral environment as largely peaceful and conducive.
The African Union, the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, and the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, have commended Uganda for conducting calm and peaceful general elections held on the 15th of January.
Observed were peaceful, orderly, and conducted in a transparent manner. However, one team of the mission observed the use of tear gas to disperse crowds that were becoming a bit unruly at Luwero SDA Lumo Zone.
While addressing the press in Naguru, the head of the AU COMESA IGAD Joint Election Observation Mission, former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan, said that elections were largely transparent despite a few isolated incidents in some areas. Jonathan noted that although there were minor disputes, no official complaints were formally raised on or reported to the mission.
No official complaint was received during the counting process in all polling stations witnessed.
President Jonathan applauded Ugandans for maintaining calm and order even as voting was delayed in some polling stations due to the failure of biometric voter verification machines. He emphasized that voters demonstrated patience and commitment to the democratic process despite the technical challenges expressed during the start of voting.
Our observation of the electoral processes thus far The African Union, COMESA, and IGAD mission summarize the following as constituting commendable practices. 1. The calmness by the Ugandan citizen towards the polling staff despite the delay in the opening. 2. The provision for political parties and candidates with voters registered increase their monitoring of the vote, thereby strengthening their trust in the process. 3. The high representation of women and youth among polling staff and agents advance the principles of inclusiveness.
The Electoral Commission developed a roadmap for the 2026 general elections, which was implemented in a phased manner. The mission noted that the Commission carried out all planned activities under the roadmap as scheduled. In line with the international, regional, and national framework, the mission conducted civil and voter education in collaboration with key electoral stakeholders such as civil society and the media, among others, to ensure that all eligible citizens understand the purpose, procedure, and significance of the elections.
In their preliminary report, the AU COMESA IGAD mission made several recommendations to the government of Uganda, including the need to refrain from suspending internet services during elections and instead explore alternative ways of addressing internet-related concerns.
The government should refrain from suspension of internet access close to the election and devise alternative mechanisms of handling potential security threats as opposed to imposing a total nationwide internet shutdown. 4. The government should provide conducive and favorable environment for operations of civil society, traditional and new media, as well as the opposition parties as key actors in delivering credible and transparent elections.
Meanwhile, the East African Community Election Observation Mission has also released its observations on Uganda's 2026 general elections. Speaking on behalf of the mission, Right Honorable Ambassador Eda Mukabagwiza, head of the ES Election Observation Mission, said the election environment was largely peaceful and conducive for the conduct of elections.
The mission noted that the law provides for equal coverage of candidates by state-owned media. Generally, media offered extensive coverage of the electoral process and were also essential in dissemination of voter information to encourage meaningful participation in the elections. The mission noted that although there was no female presidential candidate or disaggregated data on female candidates, youth, and persons with disability, political participation of women is promoted through district women representatives in Parliament.
She noted that electoral campaigns were mostly calm and orderly and commended the Electoral Commission for its efforts in the preparation and management of elections. On voting, counting and tallying, the mission acknowledged the delays in the delay of voting materials in some polling stations, which caused frustration among voters.
The mission observed the following. During opening, all polling stations visited opened late with an average delay of 3 hours due to late delivery of election materials, malfunction of biometric voter verification kits, and delayed setup of polling stations. These delays caused frustrations for voters at some polling stations, with some deciding to leave. Despite these delays, the mission observed that the environment was generally calm and peaceful, with noticeable presence of party and candidate agents.
The ES mission also issued recommendations to the government of Uganda aimed at improving future electoral processes.
The Electoral Commission should endeavor to publish disaggregated data indicating the number of female and youth candidates in each election to inform public policy and advocacy. The Electoral Commission should enhance voter education to minimize the number of invalid votes in future.
Julius Mhomza, Church of Uganda Family TV, News at 8.
Thank you, Julius Mhomza, for that report. Now we take a look at the Archbishop's moment, so please stay on and let's hear what His Grace has for us today.
Archbishop's Moment. Sponsored by Uganda Christian University, a center of excellence in the heart of Africa. Join the UCU experience now. And
St. John's Wakiso Secondary School, where faith meets education.
Let me tell you, in order to conquer, we must go through pain, perseverance, patience, prayer life. That's how we will become stronger. In Jesus. Things are not just a walkover. We must go through the pain. Now I want to call upon you. We have a crowd of witnesses. Let us be strong. Let us be immovable. Let us remain steadfast. Focusing our eyes on Jesus. I remember Stephen, who was stoned. He didn't see the people were stoning him. He saw Jesus. Let us see Jesus. Even when we go through troubles of this world, we focus our eyes on Jesus. Jesus.
Yes.
Not witch doctors. Not other things. But Jesus, the perfecter of our faith. Praise the
Lord. Archbishop's Moment. Sponsored by Uganda Christian University, a center of excellence in the heart of Africa. Join the UCU experience now. And
St. John's Wakiso Secondary School, where faith meets education.
All right, there you have it. I hope you've managed to pick a message for yourself from His Grace. Now we'll take a short break and return with more news. Welcome back. You are watching News at 8 here on Church of Uganda Family TV. Shortly after the Electoral Commission chairperson declared Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of the National Ruling Resistance Movement as the winner of the 2026 presidential elections, different figures from the NRM party and opposition NUP expressed their reactions, with some congratulating the president, while others refuted the results. Among these was the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, who called upon Ugandans to remain peaceful and allow the will of God to prevail.
I want to call upon all of you, please let us go back at once, let us make new strategies.
All right, apologies for that little hiccup, but as Ugandans have just finalized such a new leaders one drive at the country till 2021, one name has dominated the country's political landscape for nearly 4 decades: President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. From a guerrilla fighter who seized power in 1986 to a repeatedly elected head of the state, Museveni leadership mirrors Uganda's political journey throughout war, reform and competitive elections. Tonight we take a special look at the every moment President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has dominated Uganda's presidents, from the first time to the most recent elections.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's rise to power did not begin at the ballot box, but on the battlefield. In January 1986, Museveni assumed the power after leading the National Resistance Army to overthrow the military government of General Tito Okello Lutwa. He was sworn in as president on January 26, 1986, ending years of political instability. This marked the beginning of the NRM rule without an election, but through armed struggle.
I, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, do solemnly swear that I will well and truly exercise the functions of the high office of the President of the Republic of Uganda, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve and defend the Constitution, and that I will do right to all manner of people according to the law established, without fear or favor, affection or ill will, so help me God.
A decade later, in 1996, Uganda held its first ever direct presidential election under the movement system, where political parties were restricted. Museveni was declared winner, defeating veteran politician Paul Semogerere. This election legitimized his leadership through a popular vote for the first time. In 2001, Museveni was re-elected in a highly contested race against his former ally, Dr. Kano Kizza Besigye. The election was marked by allegations of intimidation and irregularities. Besigye challenged the results in court, but the Supreme Court upheld Museveni's victory.
We could not have influenced the outcome of the results.
Uganda returned to multi-party democracy in 2006 following a national referendum. Museveni again defeated Dr. Kizza Besigye in the country's first multi-party presidential election. This came shortly after Parliament removed the presidential term limits, allowing Museveni to contest again. In 2011, Museveni secured another term, campaigning on peace and economic growth. However, the period that followed saw rising inflation and the walk-to-walk protests, highlighting growing political and economic tensions. The 2016 elections saw Museveni re-elected for a fifth term after once again defeating Dr. Kizza Besigye. The polls were characterized by tight security, arrests of opposition leaders, and an internet shutdown, sparking debate over electoral freedoms. In 2021, Museveni faced his most youthful and popular challenger, yet National Unity Platform leader Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, also known as Bobi Wine. Museveni was declared winner, securing his sixth elected term. The election followed the removal of presidential age limits in 2017, allowing him to contest again. The opposition rejected the results, citing widespread irregularities.
Now, therefore, candidate Yoweri Tuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni, having obtained the highest number of votes in the election and the votes cast in his favor being more than 50% of the valid votes cast at the election, the Commission hereby declares the elected president declares candidate Yoweri Tuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni the duly elected president of the Republic of Uganda at the presidential elections held on the 15th day of January 2026 for the next 5 years.
Just hours ago, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who in the 2021 elections adopted the praise name Tuhaburwa, was officially declared the winner of Uganda's 2026 presidential election after securing 71.66% of the valid votes cast. The incumbent defeated his closest challenger, National Unity Platform leader Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, who garnered 24.72%. With the declaration now made, President Museveni awaits formal swearing-in, after which he will begin another 5-year term, extending his leadership of the country from 2026 to 2031 as Uganda enters a new political chapter under continued national resistance movement rule.
All right, shortly after the Electoral Commission declared President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of the National Resistance Movement as the winner of the 2026 presidential elections, different figures from the NRM party and opposition NUP expressed their reactions, with some congratulating the president, while others refuted the results. Among these was the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, who called upon Ugandans to remain peaceful and allow the will of God to prevail.
Elections, His Excellency and his entire team. Well done, good job, very big percentage, very much a show, an indication that he still loved the country. You cannot ignore that. So, him and his team, good job. I also would like to say something. that the second runner-up, in fact, Mr. Chairman, he's done a good job. He has painted Uganda red. That means he's got a lot of support. He needs to consolidate that parts of Soga, and possibly when the next election comes, it takes time. He will have had that weight, and he will add on to that.
And we say that our villages are the task forces. So we have had 72,000 task forces at village level, and they are mobilizing, and we have had senior cadres in the party who have moved parish by parish in every constituency in this country, and that has energized our party base and the structures to mobilize the members, but also to ensure that they vote for NRM. You had certain
change okubebaza ne ba opposition bazze ne balonda peacefully teba provoke nze muntu yenna ne bakiriza ekivudde mu box. So kati okukwekalakasa ndaba si bwenkanya ate nsaba Uganda is bigger than all of us. Tukirize ekivuddemu mu kalulu kano tugende maaso okukola. Obwemeyo obweddiza. Bulungi nnyo eyo 100%. Kino nkolaze kuba obulazi samu.
Era Parliament tebafina majority. Leo jiwano batemba kamba. Twagenda mu kola tuna Parliament. Before every directive ya constituencies ne bya bakyala biri bina kyenda mwenda bina byina buli kifo yalina ku candidate bano abanuufu balina only 59% of the constituencies lwa tusobola okufuna abakandida bayimirirawo mu kibiina kiza kuwangula.
That this is not an NUP affair. This is not a Kyagulanyi affair. This is an affair of the people of Uganda. The votes that have been stolen are votes of the people of Uganda. And we have been guiding and advising that under Article 29 of the Constitution, they have a right to peacefully and lawfully protest. And we believe that they will heed to that call. As to the actions of the candidate, like I have mentioned, we have not had an opportunity to interact with him since he has been under military siege. At an appropriate time when he is able to, he will be able to make that communication.
All right, elsewhere, the aftermath of the parliamentary elections has sparked sharp exchanges among candidates, with newly elected members of parliament pushing back against allegations of vote rigging, while defeated contenders congratulate the winners and call for unity as the country's political map takes shape.
While addressing the press, the newly elected Member of Parliament Kampala Central, Hajat Misa Kabanda, rejected her opponent David Lewis Lubongoya's allegations, asserting that she had followed all proper procedures and fulfilled all necessary requirements, claims that stood in stark contrast to her opponent's assertions.
After nomination, campaigns. Era n'entambula kyalo ku kyalo n'enkola meetings zaabwe ne meetinga different categories of people. Nze ate simulanko ng'ayiseyo olukiiko yadde olumu bwe luti mu kyalo nti alukoze. Era nga nze mbadde ngamba nti Bakalu agenda kajjawa ne kaakoze kano kanene nnyo kubanga mbadde entambula nga bunaku ntambula emyezi ebiri gye baatuwa. Ngenda kunju nkola rallies, ngenda ku meetinga different people, abavubuka, abakyala, abasajja, bonna abantu abebigaali, abatembeeyi, bonna nga mbasinkana. Naye nga yesimulira nkonga agamba tibannange bano mbasinkanye.
In contrast, her other opponent Abraham Luz congratulated Misa Kabanda, noting that the best candidate had won and pledged to work with her to improve Kampala.
I, Abraham Luzi, Bawasala, Salah is told. I am hereby congratulating Honorable Misa Kabanda upon this success and winning the Kampala Central race. I should say that I have done what I could, and may the best candidate win, and it has been so. I congratulate her, and I always align with her, press the reforms that have been agitating.
Elias Luimbazi Nalkola, the newly elected Kawempe North Member of Parliament, was shocked by the false claims his opponent was spreading about defeating him, which were completely untrue.
NRM and Nambi, with connivance with some people within the Electoral Commission, to mention but a few. There is a certain lady called Nasuna Rehema. She was reading things which are very strange. Nalukola 00, Nambi 500, Nalukola 12. Nambi 600. Where did she get that? I hit Nambi thoroughly. She never defeated me anywhere. No single polling station did Nambi get anything beyond or to the magnitude of 100. I won her.
In her address, Shami Malende, the elected Kampala District Woman Member of Parliament, thanked the people of Kampala for trusting her once again and vowed to secure victory for her party's candidate at the presidential level, believing firmly that he had won.
I specifically want to thank the people of Kampala for entrusting me with this mandate, and I promise not to disappoint. The biggest task that I'm going to handle is, first of all, to ensure that we defend our victory at the presidential level, because I know and I'm sure that the people of Kampala and Uganda did vote and have voted for Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu.
Other candidates who won include Emmanuel Magola, Member of Parliament elected for Busiro East, Rebecca Litwala Kadaga, Woman Member of Parliament for Kamuli, George Musisi, Member of Parliament for Chira, Nobati Mao, Member of Parliament for Laro Pese Division, Andrew Hind Frederick, Member of Parliament for Nakawa West. However, the polls left some big names out of the race, including Beta Mongi, David Bahati, Mathias Simpoga, Semu Uganda, Abdu Katuntu, Mwanga Chivumbi, Abedi Wanika, Theodore Sechkobo, Medad Segona, Asman Basalirwa, Beatrice Anyua, Florence Nambosi, Frederick Ngonsi, Hamson Obu and others. By press time, the members of parliament who won under different political parties were as follows: NRM 353, NUP 48, Independent 65, UPC 10, DP 6, PFF 2, ANT 1, FDC 9, and DF 0.